Ever felt so anxious because you have too many goals, too many dreams, and have no idea where to start? Well, this is the book you need to read. It's called The One Thing by two authors. Stay tuned and I'm going to tell you all about it.
When love comes in, ooh, la, la, la.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Alice and you're watching on LeLifestyle. This week we're back with another book review. I don't know why I say it like that. It's just fun. Okay, so it's called The One Thing. This is not the actual cover. It is a hardcover copy, but usually the protective paper cover, the glossy one, I sort of spilled something on it, so I had to throw it away. So it's not a black book. I think it's white and red, but the whole point is that it's a dot and it's just one dot, aka the one thing you need to do in your life to get you to success. I feel like every time I do a review, it's because I really love the book. Yeah. Oh well, the book's called The One Thing, and it's written by two people, Gary Keller and Papasan. I think that's how you say his name. Papasan. I don't know. Anyway, so these two dudes wrote this book, and honestly, I think it's genius. On a very general note, this book is 240 pages long, which is an average amount of pages for any of the self-development, personal growth books that I've read until now. And just like last week's book review I did, every chapter in this one is also between 7 to 10 pages long on average. Again, I find the chapters super short and sweet, very well written, and the best part, I don't know why I really love this, is when they break down the book into parts. So this book has 3 parts and I think 18 chapters, so super short. I wouldn't say super short, but still very simple, nice and to the point in every chapter. They don't really drag you along, unlike like the 5 a.m. Club where we reviewed that at the very beginning, where there's a whole story. These books are very straight to the point. So The One Thing, their general idea, their theory is you need to focus on one thing only every single time you put your mind towards working on something, and it needs to be all linked to the one thing you want to do eventually in your life. So one thing that you want to really achieve in your life, let's say 10 years from now, and then basically break down all the things you need to complete every single year to get to that point. But your main focus is towards that one big goal in your life. Yes, like a house. The goal creates your success home. There's someone I follow on Instagram. I look up to it. I wouldn't say as a mentor, but I look up to the work they do. And this person had posted randomly in her stories the books that she's read before. And one day I reached out to her and I said, basically she had posted about this book. But when I reached out to her, I said like, hey Wendy, what books should I read? What should I do to really propel myself forward? And she's like, first of all, did you read Think and Grow Rich? And I'm like, yes, I did. And we've reviewed that with the women's author video I've done. Click here if you want to watch that. Bless you. So Think and Grow Rich I read, and she's like, well, if you do every single thing that's mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, well, that alone will get you forward. And then she said, The One Thing. So this book, she said, is the other book that I should follow to a T after Think and Grow Rich if I want success in my life. And I was like, okay, she said so, and she's got the success to prove it to me, then I'm gonna listen to her. And side note, that's what you need to do. You need to take advice from the people who've already done the thing that you want in your life, and not from people who don't. Okay? So I listened to her, of course. I reread Think and Grow Rich a couple of times, and I think I should reread it again. Anyway, and then I read this book. So you can get it off Indigo. I'll leave the link down in the descriptions if you want to read this book. And I would say it's the perfect book for anyone. Okay? Anyone, any industry, doesn't matter. It's not necessarily general, like what they're saying, their theories and the proof they have or examples they're using. It's not super general, but it's very applicable to every single person on this planet. One thing that I think is extremely well thought of in this book, these two authors have recognized that there are visual people and then there are very logical people. They basically put those two together and created a book based on their research and everything. But they've also included graphs, charts, and not just like very mathematical graphs and charts, but also some drawings of, let's say, their goal setting chapter, how they broke it down. Their one thing that they say that eventually you want to reach, and then basically breaking it down for your 5-year goal, your 1-year goal, your monthly goal, and then what you need to do right now. They kind of like break it down that way, the goals and things, tasks that you need to schedule for yourself, let's say. And basically they drew it out so visual people like myself will see that and say, okay, that's very easy for me to copy paste into my own life. And many of other things, like they have a scheduler. They talk about how you should schedule your calendar, your vacations and everything, and they even put in an illustration so that visual people like myself will be able to easily adapt it to our own life, because we'll say, okay, this is how they're saying I should do it. Okay, let me modify it for myself to my own liking and apply it into my own calendar. So it's very easy for you to apply everything in this book to yourself, because they make sure that you're visually able to notice what they're telling you to do, and then you read about it and understand even more, and then boom, you put it into your life and it's done. I mean, you still need to put in the action, the work, etc., and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. But this is just a tool for you to use. It's not just like any other book you read, yalla yalla, let's read it, get it done, okay, I'm done with this book, next book. No, just like Think and Grow Rich, this book you have to read over and over again so you could apply and fix it to adjust whatever you've been doing, so you could be even more focused on that one thing that you need to do in your life. Another cool thing I've noticed in most personal growth books is at the end of the chapter they'll do some kind of summary or exercise, and this book is not any different from the rest. They have a section called Big Ideas, and basically they write in point format everything they talked about in the chapter. Even though the chapter is only 10 pages long and you could take notes, they write the notes for you in the end as a summary so you don't forget it. Now, what I like to do most of the time with my book reviews is share with you guys chapters I really appreciated, or some cool things that I found in the book really popped for me. This is another cool thing I found. They basically give you a sign that you could cut out and put on your door. It's hilarious. It says, "Do not disturb, I'm working on my one thing." Yeah, right, my parents won't listen to that. Just like many other personal growth books, there's a specific chapter on goal setting. Unlike the She Means Business book that we reviewed also in the female authors video, the section on goal setting in this book is very different because it's linked towards you working only on that one thing that you want to do in your life. So it's not like millions of different goals that you need to write and have a measurable goal, blah blah blah. No, it's what's the one main thing you want to do in your life, and then basically your other goals are just a breakdown of that one thing. Okay. There's another chapter that talks about discipline, and just to give you an idea of what they talk about, at the very end in the big idea section, it says, don't be a disciplined person. What? Don't be a disciplined person? Like, I think all personal coaches, all life coaches say that you need discipline in your life, discipline this, blah, blah, blah. And they're basically saying, don't be that person. And let me tell you why. Because they're saying, be a person of powerful habits and use selected discipline to develop them. So basically, it's not the discipline that you think you know, it's more the habits that you cultivate in your life that are more important, not just discipline. Mind blowing, I know. Final thing regarding the book, I really love when authors think about what you would do after you finish the book, and most of them will always provide you with resources so you can apply these theories, their research, into your own life. At the end of the book, there is a website you could go to and get more information or tools for you to easily apply these to your life. I think they have one just so you could realize what your purpose is and basically narrow down the one thing that you want to do. So they basically give you the tools you need for you to realize what that one thing is in your life if you don't already know it, which I honestly think is amazing because not everyone already knows what their sole purpose is. So read the one thing, figure out your sole purpose, and live your best life. So guys, that's it for this week. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, please share it with your friends, click the thumbs up button, and we come back with videos every week, so don't forget to subscribe. Bye.